Do people still write mysteries like this? Because The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson is one of, if not the best mystery thriller of all time. The truth will out, as the saying goes, and it does so in this book. Please like and subscribe and tell us what you think in the comments. There's something for everyone in this channel, from fiction to non-fiction. For the scores, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo gets the following: plot 95, characters 100, emotional impact 85, pacing 93. The pacing is so fast, and I love fast-paced books. Writing style 97. Larson was a master at his craft, truly, may he rest in peace. Themes 100, corruption, abuse, tragedy, this book has it all. Uniqueness 85, book cover 95, overall score 94. By the way, this is a reread. I first reread this as a teenager, not long after the books originally came out in English, and it's even better now as an adult. Originally released in Sweden in 2005, this book was translated to English and published in 2008, and it seems like it's got universal acclaim. The story begins with Mikael Blomqvist, a financial investigative journalist, facing professional disgrace after losing a mysterious libel case against a powerful, corrupt businessman. With his credibility sunk, Mikael accepts a peculiar offer from Henrik Vanger, an aging patriarch of a wealthy but declining industrial family. But this family is poison, and its members have so many skeletons in its closet. Henrik hires Mikael to investigate the decades-old disappearance of his niece, Harriet, from the family's remote island estate, and Henrik is convinced a member of his own family is responsible for her murder. With his family mostly being despicable people, Harriet was actually a good one, and therefore it makes the presumed murder hurt more. As Mikael dives deeper into the case, he uncovers the dark and twisted secrets of the Vanger family. Eventually he gets to the point where he needs help. Whilst all this is happening in the book, we're simultaneously introduced to Lisbeth Salander, a complex young woman with a peculiar way about her. She has been in the clutches of the Swedish law for most of her life, and we follow her as the law cripples her and how it has done so in the past. Lisbeth doesn't do the best job of advocating for herself, but she's a victim and her story is interwoven with the central mystery. Lisbeth's personal story provides a raw and unflinching look at life as a survivor of systematic exploitation and abuse. Her journey is filled with resilience and moments of justice, but not in the traditional sense, and Lisbeth as a character is a compelling mystery all by herself. Her backstory is so complex and it has so much depth. I'm speaking in regards to how complex a human being could be. Hearing about the struggles the system had to try and even diagnose her was actually quite comical, because Lisbeth is just so stubborn. I really do like the rebellious aspect to her. She really doesn't give a shit, and she doesn't take shit. And we see it in quotes like this: "The rules for social interaction in school had always baffled her. She minded her own business and did not interfere with what anyone around her did. Yet there was always someone who absolutely would not leave her in peace." In the book, she works as an investigator for this security firm, and it's clear that she has special talents. But as the book progresses, we learn that she has a lot of heart also. So those are the main characters of the story, and they are fantastically written, even though they are clearly all flawed. They're flawed fathers, flawed daughters, they're flawed friends, and it kind of just makes them a lot more human and a lot more relatable. But they are brilliant at their craft. The side characters also play an important role, and they are all written excellently. It's not just the main characters doing the heavy lifting in this book. It's not that kind of book. The side characters, you end up actually caring for them a lot, and this really does help fill out the story, because their relation to the mystery, to the scheming, and just to the general resistance to certain people really does make this book what it is. The main characters, as you know, the main characters can't do it alone. Everyone needs a team around them. In this book, the mystery is laid out beautifully, and I was hooked. It's a mix of classic mystery tropes: a cold case, someone's gone missing under nearly impossible circumstances, and someone has an obsession with the case. That's about as far as tropes end when it comes to this book. because this book has such a unique spin on things, mainly due to the characters and how the web of events are tangled up yet connected in this book. It was a long time coming in this book when Lisbeth and Mikhail finally get to meet. It doesn't happen till halfway through the book. They've both been so preoccupied with their professional and personal lives up to that point. But I like how naturally the meeting came about, and to be honest, it was always going to happen. That much is evident from the get-go. I also liked reading about Mikhail and Lisbeth's relationship, and their growing respect, trust and friendship is the best part of the book emotionally, especially on Lisbeth's end, because she doesn't trust people. She is very closed off and she doesn't like physical contact, and she just doesn't like people, it seems. Alongside that, it emerges as the pace starts to pick up and things start happening in relation to the case. It was only when those two linked up that I really felt that we could actually solve the cold case. Not gonna lie, this is a top tier mystery thriller. All of that is top tier. The details of the case and of the twists and turns are just so well done. There's a religious aspect that exists, and that's great too. It adds mystery to the case, but it doesn't take it over. In fact, due to the crazy family dynamics of the Vangers, it's actually a small piece of the story. But you have to pay attention with this book, otherwise you'll miss something. And with so many Vanger family members, I found myself at that point, to be honest, it was hard for me to keep up with the names besides Martin, Cecilia, Isabella, Harriet, and Henrik, of course. This was even before the investigation got underway. The thing about this book and the mysteries within it is the layers. It all comes down to the layers of the characters, the layers of their actions, the layers to their motives. What is also crazy is that our protagonists have other problems, so many problems, a few of which were introduced at the beginning of the book, but the pace of the story and the main mystery had me totally forgetting that there were still other things to find out about. Like I said, so many layers, it's crazy. It's really the gift that keeps on giving, this book. Speaking of the ending, I like the breakdown of the ending. It seemed fitting for sure. The very, very end left a lot of room for more, and that's all I'll say about that. Things might get very interesting. I didn't mention this, but this is part of a trilogy. Well, it's not a trilogy anymore, but Larson originally wrote a trilogy, and so the other two books are going to be very, very interesting. I've read them. Like, this is part of my rereading as an adult series. I have read the other two, but I can scarcely remember what happens. I would highly recommend picking up this book if you haven't already somehow. On the screen you can check out a playlist of my other book reviews. I guarantee that there'll be something for you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.